Good evening. I know, right? Welcome to Two Guys in the Kitchen. I'm Mike.
I'm Levi.
It's Levi. Today we're making corned beef and cabbage. It's basically my recipe today. Levi's not going to be doing much, but sticking his head in, making comments.
I'm going to be the funny guy.
The funny guy today. I did my corned beef earlier today. It's in my Dutch oven. It's one of those meals it's one of those meats that you have to cook long and slow. It's a simple recipe. Corned beef, sear the sides on the stove in the Dutch oven. Throw it in the oven, 250 degrees for about 6-7 hours. I pour Guinness over it. It gives it a different flavor. If you want to use a different beer, go right ahead. If you have a favorite ale you use, go right ahead that you like. It'll just make the meat the way you want it.
And more tender.
Yeah, and more tender. What you're doing is you're basically braising the beef. Instead of on the stove, it's in the oven. So while that's still in the oven, I have my pot going for my potatoes, and I'm going to do my carrots. So my carrots, I am just cutting on the bias. Again, I'm not going to grate them. So it's just a simple cut. Don't cut your fingers.
That's not good. That's not what we make in the kitchen.
Cut fingers.
Yeah, we don't want those. Lady fingers, sure. Now, why on the bias?
I just like the way they look.
So it's for aesthetics.
Aesthetics. It looks better this way when I cut the cabbage. I'm just going to cut it in strips.
Okay.
And just put it in a bowl. Now that my carrots are done on the bias, okay, what I'm going to do is cut the end off the cabbage. Throw that away. And just dice it.
Now this dinner would make it a little stinky, right?
The way I cook it, it doesn't.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Wait, people or...
No, the cabbage. You know,
cabbage. Oh, the cabbage will get stinky if you cook it.
Cabbage is
wrong,
one of those things that if you cook it wrong, it smells like the whole house. The way I cook mine, it doesn't.
Yeah. But the people will still get.
Eh. I've never had any issues with cabbage.
My wife does.
Yeah.
She's looking at me right now. I'm killing him.
Don't tell everybody.
I don't fart.
Now what you could... What you can do now is, since the cabbage is cut this way, you can cut it in half or leave it like this. I'm just going to cut it in half. I don't want these big strands of cabbage.
You don't want
my
spaghetti?
Meat. I don't want spaghetti. And so I just... one slice. Right on down. There you go. That's your cabbage and your carrots for your cabbage. Now that my cabbage and my carrots are done, again, on the bias, spaghetti. There's two things you can do for potatoes. You can do red potatoes or regular mashed potatoes. I think you guys are tired of us doing mashed potatoes because we do it all the time.
I don't think we've had an episode where we haven't had potatoes.
I know, right? So this one is just going to be regular red potatoes. I'm going to boil them, cut them, quarter them, boil them, hot stove, drain them, and I'm making a nice urban butter sauce that's going to go over them. That's going to help complement everything else. So all you do, take your potato. Since it's a red potato, you don't have to peel it. Keep the peels on.
What's taters, precious?
Cut it. Put it in your pan.
And as per usual with the water, it is seasoned
and
oiled.
And oiled, yeah.
I think everybody knows how to make potatoes now, at least.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so. If they don't, we're terrible teachers.
I don't teach, I show
True.
process. They can season their water any way they want.
Or not.
or not. I just happen to like mine seasoned.
It's an extra layer of flavor.
Yep. I'm gonna sit and do this and see you back here in a bit. So my carrots are on the bias. My cabbage is spaghettied.
I like that term.
What I'm gonna do now is put both my cabbage and my carrots in a cast iron skillet pan. I already have oil in this one, partly because I left it on the stove today. As you can see, it's discolored. Okay, one side's lighter than the other side. I screwed up, so what I need to do now is re-season my pan. So that's what the oil's in there for.
But that's another episode.
That's a, oh, we got it outdoor go. I'm putting 3 tablespoons of butter in this, and
Because what's better than 1 tablespoon of butter?
more.
Exactly.
And my cabbage. Now I am breaking up the big chunks of cabbage. So all I want is the spaghetti ones.
Yeah.
Okay. And while my butter's melting, pan real quick.
And making that wonderful sound that we all love.
Okay. I'm just putting my cabbage in. Now the cabbage looks like a lot of cabbage. Okay. When I get it all in here, mix it up, get it really good. It's going to fill up my pan. That is fine. Cabbage will cook down.
Much like the onions.
Yeah, a lot like the onions. We want the cabbage to cook down. The carrots do take a while also. So as I'm cooking down my cabbage, I'm going to be throwing the carrots in with it. Just put it in here. My potatoes are on. Okay, those are getting nice and happy. You want those fork tender. Now, as you put the cabbage in, if you see any that's like really thick, nasty, throw them away. You don't want the thick, nasty ones. You want the small, nice ones, because they're going to cook a little bit better. And if you cook cabbage really long, you'll get that
funky smell.
Funky, acidic smell. You don't want that. If you get that, your cabbage is cooked too long. I know some recipes call for it.
It's still eatable, it's just not...
Eatable.
Yeah, eatable.
I think it's called edible.
That's the correct word. I say eatable. Because that's a more fun word.
I just go to school.
Hey, I was homeschooled. I was home teached.
I was home.
I was home teached. I learned how to say things proper like. Dang, that's a party.
You got birdie.
That's a party.
So, my cabbage is in, my carrots are in, my potatoes are on, my corned beef is still in the oven. I'm gonna let this get nice and happy. This is getting nice and happy. As soon as these are fork tender,
Which were...
a little longer, I'm gonna take them out, pour them, and then start making my sauce for that.
Yes.
As you can see, my cabbage is on. My potatoes
It's even cooking down a little bit.
are fork tender. Ow, that's hot. So what I'm going to do now
It's hot, Mike.
is I'm going to melt some butter in my pan. I have like almost a stick of butter just because I like butter.
Who
I know.
doesn't like butter?
I know butter really isn't healthy for you, but
Better than
you know
margarine.
what? It's St. Patrick's Day. It's St. Patrick's month, and I don't care. I'm exercising. I'm working out to get rid of the butter that I eat.
Frankly, butter is definitely is a better option than, say, margarine.
Yeah.
Because margarine's nasty.
Okay, so the herbs I am using. Smell that?
And spilling.
Can't smell that.
I can smell it.
It's Frisian bone herbs is what I'm using. If your
I think it's...
herb place does not have this, I'm sorry. I can get it here in Colorado, and I get it here in Colorado because, you know what, I like it. So
I also believe it's pronounced Parisian bone herb.
I'm not French, and I don't care.
You're American. You can screw up whatever language you want.
Yeah, so this I'm going to do couple pinches,
Large pinches.
just right in the butter. Okay.
We don't like to measure things here in the Two Guys kitchen.
What? Measure? No, never.
No, it's all to taste. Oh man.
And while that butter is melting, I'm taking my potatoes. Pour them right in. Where's my spatula?
Now something about the potatoes, they're a little firmer than you would for like mashed potatoes.
Yeah. You know, again, fork tender, but
So
we're
that
gonna
they'll-
put these in butter and herbs.
We like it. Because butter and potatoes. Fun fact, you can survive off of nothing but butter and potatoes. It'd be a sad existence. But
Your Yukon Gold potato. I don't want that one.
what, that one.
Yeah. Is the miracle fruit food? Food. The skins in the potato has every vitamins and minerals you need to survive, along with the meat.
The meat has starch.
Starches, the proteins, everything you need to survive is in a potato. So
That's why the Irish potato famine was such a
yeah,
bad thing.
if you have nothing but potato, beans, and rice, you can survive on that. You'll get bored and tired of it.
Not
I know.
necessarily happily, but
I ate beans and rice when I was growing up, and I got really tired of it. I love potatoes though. I have one son who doesn't, and I don't care. He eats them. So my cabbage is doing really good. Right about this time, grab a bottle of Guinness, pour it in.
what does that do?
Gives it another flavor.
Another flavor,
Yeah.
brings it together maybe with like the corned beef.
Corned beef, and then I am going to put in about 2 tablespoons of sour cream right before I serve it, and it'll bring everything together.
It's a nice creamy tartness too.
Yeah. So,
Okay. Okay, and so.
my corned beef is done. Unfortunately, you can't see it, but it looks nice and good. The beer has cooked all the way down. What I have now is, if you make your own bread for this meal, that's great.
See Irish soda bread. previous
Irish soda
episodes.
bread, or Irish brown bread, or a hard, crusty bread.
Sourdough.
I'm using California sourdough because I want to.
It's easy, and it's done.
So I'm going to put this in the stove right now. I just want to get a nice good crust on it. That's in. My potatoes are done. Now, when they're done, see, nice and gooey, not gooey, nice and herby.
Made it very difficult for her to
Um,
get a decent shot on that.
Do it to taste though. I didn't put any salt and pepper in it before. I tasted it. It was good. You do need some salt and pepper. So you're gonna season it to your liking. While the bread's in, I'm just gonna let the beer in this go down just a little bit more. Okay, my carrots are still a little crunchy. The cabbage is getting some color to it, which is great. I want that color. Too bad you're not here to smell this because it smells amazing.
Yes, it does.
And just cook a little longer. Okay. So okay.
Okay. It's okay.
So
It's okay.
my cabbage is done. My carrots are still a little crunchy, which is fine. That's what I want. The cabbage is texture. My cabbage is really
It's gone limp.
It's got really limp.
They have a pill for that.
So what you do is they shake a couple tablespoons of sour cream. If you have creme fraiche, use creme fraiche. If you have Greek yogurt, use Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt would make it a little bit healthier for you, but this is Irish food and they live in the cold and they want fat.
They need some fat on those Irish bodies of theirs.
So you just put the cream cheese in, or sour cream, mix it up.
I'm proof you need fat on an Irish body.
Now you're Scottish.
I'm Scotch Irish.
You don't count. I'm Irish Mexican.
Which is the
Now,
weirdest combo.
Which is funny, because as you've known in the past, I use cumin and hot spices with everything I do, but this meal.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
There's no cumin in it, there's no cayenne in it, there's no chili pepper in it, chili powder. This is just basic corned beef and cabbage that you would get in America. Now, I don't know if you all know this, but I just learned this the other day.
Corned beef is
Corned
actually
beef
Jewish.
and cabbage is not an Irish meal. It's an Irish American meal. Now, corned beef in itself is not Irish. It's an English meal.
English. I thought the Jews did it.
The Jewish community took that design and just made it better.
Pastrami.
Pastrami is amazing. But the reason why it's called corned beef is back in the day before they had all this, they cured the meat with a salt and a barley, and they corned it. The kind of barley they used was, I don't remember what it was, but so it just stuck that it was corned beef.
It looked like corn.
Kind of, but it was a barley and salt that they just cured it, and it takes 15 to 20 days to cure. So this episode, I just went and bought a store-bought one. I'm going to experiment with my family and Levi and Leah and make my own in a couple weeks. Because it does take a long time, and I do have to get some specialty salts to make it. Once I do perfect it, I will record it for you guys so you can see how it turns out. Okay? My corned beef is done. I didn't say so this time.
You did just now.
I know. So, my corned beef is done. Looks nice and pretty. Don't touch it. I'm gonna plate it up now. So you just get a ladle of the potatoes. I am feeding seven people now. It was 6 earlier, but now it's 7.
One of your boy's friends decided
Yeah,
to
one of
come
my
over.
boy's friends decided to show up.
We'll just give him peanut butter and jelly. That's mean.
So you put your potatoes, carrots,
Carrots, cabbage.
that's the word I'm looking for. Cabbage on one side.
That Boilermaker hit you, didn't he?
Here is the choice you have to make now. Can you hand me a fork, please? So,
I'm like thing.
So, you can take your corned beef and slice it.
Oh.
Okay? Just like that. You can do that. Or, what I like to do is you just take your corned beef
And shred it.
and shred it.
There's the Mexican.
This is your choice. If you're making sandwiches, cut it.
Reuben's. Hey, it's hot.
I know. This way, I'm just going to cut it real quick so you can see it
And eat it.
and eat it. There's your corned beef and cabbage. Now, if you made mashed potatoes,
Oh, that's good.
I don't make bad things.
No, you don't. That's why we have a cooking show, Mike.
Right here is a lot of your juices from the meat
Your
and
beer.
the beer. You can make a quick sauce out of this. It's really simple to make. Put it on a hot stove, whisk it up with flour, butter, make a roux, mix it up, sprinkle it over your beef and your potatoes. Since I'm not doing potatoes that way, I did the red potatoes. As you can see,
He's not making us a gravy.
I'm not making a gravy. Make it whatever way you want. Again, if you want to use any kind of beer you like, use it. I've tried different L's. I've tried Sam Adams. I personally like the Guinness. I think it gives it a better flavor than Sam Adams does.
Guinness is great for cooking.
Potatoes. If you want to make fried potatoes, German potatoes, make them. It's your choice. This is just a process of how to make something. So I'm Mike. Levi's over there playing on his phone.
We forgot the bread. So, I said so. Here's the bread. Hey, whoa, damn, that's
It's
hot.
hot. It came out of the stove.
Hey, when you take bread out of the oven, it's hot. That is
very
crusty and delicious.
I'm gonna turn my camera.
And we're just gonna cut it up. Where is your
You
bread
have,
knife's up
you
in
have my bread
apartment.
knife.
So yeah.
So come on, way, have that.
We're going to have him cut it up with his chef's knife, because I stole his bread knife. Or, frankly, you can just do this. I'll do one, he'll do the other. You can just do this. Pair it up. Oh, that's a good bread.
Oh.
To quote a certain Disney movie with a cooking rodent, how do you tell good bread? Not by the look, the smell, or the taste, but by the sound. Crackles.
I need butter.
I'm just gonna dip it in this.